Admiral Elena Torres watched through reinforced windows as the Zephyrin vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere, its bioorganic hull gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence. The massive ship, easily the size of a small city, moved with impossible grace for something so large. As head of Earth's defense fleet, Elena had seen her share of impressive technology, but the Zephyrin's mastery of biotechnology was something else entirely. Their energy readings are off the charts. Lieutenant Maya Patul reported from her station, dark eyes fixed on the holographic display. Those organic computing cores they're using. They're processing data faster than anything we've ever seen. Elena nodded, maintaining her composed demeanor despite the gravity of the situation. This was humanity's first contact with an advanced spacefaring civilization, and the Zephyrins had made it clear they considered themselves the superior species. Their initial transmissions had been diplomatic but laden with condescension, referring to humans as promising primitives who relied on quaint mechanical solutions. The Zephyrin ship settled onto the massive landing pad outside New Geneva's International Space Center, its surface rippling like liquid metal before solidifying. A delegation of Earth's highest-ranking military and civilian officials had gathered to greet them, with Elena and her team responsible for security. All defense systems are active but masked, Maya confirmed. The quantum camouflage is holding. They can't detect our orbital platforms. Good, Elena replied. Let them keep thinking we're exactly what they expect us to be. The Zephyrin delegation emerged from their vessel, their tall, ethereal forms floating several inches above the ground on personal gravity fields. Their bodies seemed to be composed of living crystal, with neural pathways visible as streams of light flowing beneath translucent skin. High Overseer Vextal led the group, his crystalline form towering over the human officials at nearly 9 feet tall. Greetings, young ones. Vextal's words were translated by an organic device that grew from his shoulder like a flowering vine. We come bearing the gift of advancement to your species. Dr. James Chen, Earth's chief diplomatic officer, stepped forward with a carefully practiced smile. We are honored by your presence, High Overseer. Earth welcomes the opportunity for cultural and technological exchange. Vextal's crystal-faceted eyes gleamed with what Elena recognized as amusement. Yes, we have observed your technological level. Your reliance on silicon-based computing and chemical propulsion is charming. The Zephyrin Collective will be happy to guide you toward more advanced solutions. Elena caught Maya suppressing a smile. The Zephyrins had no idea that what they were seeing was merely the surface, carefully crafted to meet their expectations. Humanity had learned long ago that being underestimated could be a powerful advantage. Perhaps you'd like a tour of our facilities, Dr. Chen offered. We'd be honored to show you our current technology level. Of course, Vextal agreed, his crystalline form shimmering with barely concealed superiority. Though I must warn you, many of your systems may appear quite primitive to us. The Zephyrin Collective achieved quantum computing over 10,000 years ago. As the delegation moved toward the facility's entrance, Elena's neural implant buzzed with a private message from Central Command. Operation Humble Beginning is now active. Maintain appearance of technological inferiority. Monitor Zephyrin reactions carefully. The tour proceeded exactly as planned. The Zephyrins were shown carefully prepared laboratories and manufacturing facilities that showcased exactly what they expected to see, technology that was advanced by human standards, but primitive compared to their own. Their condescending remarks grew more frequent as they observed what appeared to be simple fusion reactors and basic quantum computers. What they didn't see were the true quantum processing cores hidden beneath the facility, the zero-point energy taps powering the entire complex, or the network of microscopic nanites that permeated every surface, analyzing their every move and transmission. The culmination came in the Weapons Research Division, where Dr. Chen showcased what appeared to be a basic plasma cannon. This is one of our more advanced defensive technologies, he explained with carefully crafted humility. Vextal's crystalline form vibrated with what their cultural database identified as patronizing amusement. Ah yes, plasma weapons. We developed those in our medieval period. Though I notice you still rely heavily on projectile weapons as well. Most species abandon such primitive technology once they discover energy weapons. Elena stepped forward, speaking for the first time. We find that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. High Overseer, would you be interested in a small demonstration? The surprise in Vextal's voice was evident. You wish to demonstrate your projectile weapons against Zephyran shielding. His crystalline form sparkled with what could only be described as alien laughter. Very well. It would be educational for you to see the difference in our technological levels. Elena smiled, sending a silent command through her neural implant. Indeed it would, High Overseer. Indeed it would. The first phase of humanity's carefully orchestrated revelation was about to begin, and Elena couldn't wait to see their reactions. Sometimes the best way to teach humility was through demonstration, and humanity had prepared one hell of a demonstration. The testing grounds. The testing facility's observation deck offered a panoramic view of the Movav Desert, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. Elena watched as the Zephyran delegation positioned themselves behind the reinforced windows, their crystalline forms refracting the harsh sunlight. The target is positioned at 5 kilometers, Maya announced, gesturing toward a distant glint in the desert. A decommissioned Zephyran scout ship they'd been given permission to use. High Overseer, would you please activate your vessel's strongest shields? Vextal's form rippled with amusement. Of course. Though I should warn you, Zephyran defensive technology is far beyond anything your projectile weapons could hope to penetrate. Our shields can withstand direct hits from antimatter weaponry. Elena nodded to Maya. Initiate firing sequence. The ground trembled slightly as massive panels slid open in the desert floor, revealing what appeared to be a relatively simple rail gun emplacement. The Zephyran's crystalline forms vibrated with what their cultural database identified as barely suppressed laughter. This is your advanced weapon system. Vextal's translator struggled to convey the mixture of amusement and pity in his tone. A magnetic mass driver. We abandoned such technology millennia ago, when we developed quantum-locked energy weapons. Sometimes old ideas just need new execution, Elena replied calmly. Maya, what's the current velocity capability of the Mark VI? This model achieves approximately 47% light speed at maximum charge. Admiral. The amusement in the room suddenly died. Vextal's crystalline form ceased its vibration. There must be an error in the translation. Did you say 47% of light speed? Fire when ready, Lieutenant. The Railguns capacitors discharged with a thunderous crack that even the reinforced windows couldn't completely muffle. There was no visible beam, no dramatic light show, just a simple tungsten rod accelerated to a significant fraction of light speed. The result, however, was spectacular. The Zephyran scout ship shields flared brilliantly for a microsecond before failing completely. The projectile passed through the vessel as if it were made of tissue paper, leaving perfect entry and exit holes. A moment later, the ship's bioorganic hull began to break down as secondary damage from the kinetic transfer took effect. The observation deck was utterly silent except for the soft hum of environmental systems. Vextal's crystalline form had taken on a distinctly pale hue. The High Overseer's translator crackled with static before stabilizing. That was a simple projectile. Tungsten carbide rod, about 20 kilograms, Maya confirmed cheerfully. Would you like to see the kinetic energy calculations? At that velocity, it carries more energy than a small tactical nuclear device. No need for explosives. Pure kinetic force does all the work. But our shields are designed to defend against energy weapons, Elena finished. They're incredibly sophisticated at deflecting plasma, particle beams, and even antimatter reactions. But they're not optimized to stop solid matter moving at relativistic speeds. As Lieutenant Paddle said, sometimes old ideas just need new execution. Vextal seemed to be struggling to process what he'd just witnessed. This is impossible. Your species was supposed to be centuries behind us in weapons technology. Our scans showed only basic fusion drives and elementary particle physics. Elena allowed herself a small smile. High Overseer, what your scan showed is exactly what we wanted them to show. Humanity learned long ago that there's value in being underestimated. Would you like to see what else we've been working on? The delegation's crystalline forms had lost all their earlier superiority, now showing signs their database identified as extreme agitation and concern. One of Vextal's advisors stepped forward, neural pathways pulsing rapidly beneath translucent skin. High Overseer, if they have achieved these velocities with simple mass drivers, we must reassess all our previous assumptions about human military capability. These primitive humans may be far more advanced than we realized. Indeed, Vextal's translator conveyed, his tone now carrying something that sounded very much like respect. Admiral Torres, I believe we should discuss a significant revision to our diplomatic approach. It seems we have much to learn from each other. Elena nodded graciously, but before she could respond, Maya's console erupted with urgent alerts. Her lieutenant's face went pale as she read the incoming data. Admiral, we're detecting multiple ships dropping out of FTL at the edge of the solar system. Energy signatures match neither Earth nor Zephyrin configurations. Elena's neural implant buzzed with emergency updates from Central Command. The situation had just become much more complicated, and humanity's technological revelations were about to accelerate significantly. Hidden strength. Unknown vessels are maintaining formation at the system's edge, Maya reported, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface, counting 17 capital ships and at least 40 smaller craft. No response to standard hailing frequencies. Vextal's crystalline form pulsed with recognition. Those energy signatures, harvester ships, they're deep space nomads who strip inhabited worlds of resources. We've had conflicts with them before. Their shields are similar to Zephyrin design. Elena asked, already formulating strategies. Yes, but significantly stronger. Our largest weapons barely. Vextal paused, his faceted eyes turning to Elena. Ah, you're thinking of your relativistic weapons. Elena's neural implant was already connecting her to Earth's true defense network. The carefully maintained illusion of technological inferiority was about to be shattered completely. Maya, initiate Protocol Omega. Full spectrum reveal. The lieutenant's fingers flew across her console, across the solar system. Thousands of previously invisible platforms and installations began dropping their quantum camouflage. The Zephyrin delegation watched in stunned silence as their sensor displays lit up with countless new signatures. By the first light, one of Vextal's advisors whispered, "Those are all human installations." The desert floor around them transformed as massive hidden bay doors slid open, revealing row upon row of advanced weapon systems. But these weren't simple railguns. They were a fusion of human ingenuity and technology that even the Zephyrins had never imagined possible. Quantum-locked mass drivers, Elena explained as the massive weapons rose from their underground bunkers. They used zero-point energy to accelerate projectiles while keeping them phase-shifted until the moment of impact. Shields can't stop what isn't fully in normal spacetime. Vextal's neural pathways were pulsing rapidly. This technology, it shouldn't be possible. The energy requirements alone are handled by our zero-point tap network, Maya finished. Those primitive fusion reactors we showed you. Just a cover for our real power generation systems. The first wave of harvester ships was now moving into the inner solar system, their massive forms blotting out distant stars. Elena watched their approach on the tactical display, remembering all the simulations and planning sessions that had prepared humanity for this moment. "High Overseer," she said, turning to Vextal, "I understand this is a lot to process, but right now we need to know everything you can tell us about harvester combat tactics. We've prepared for first contact and potential conflicts for centuries, but practical experience is invaluable." The crystalline alien seemed to struggle internally for a moment before his form stabilized. Of course, Admiral. The harvesters typically begin with a long-range energy barrage to test defensive capabilities, followed by launching swarms of automated striker craft. Their shields are layered. Each must be overwhelmed individually. Elena nodded, sending rapid commands through her neural interface. Across the solar system, human defense platforms began powering up their real weapons, not just the relativistic mass drivers, but technologies that had been kept hidden for decades. Maya, activate the Kuiper Belt defense line. Bring the quantum entanglement network online, and show our guests what those primitive nanites they've been scanning can really do. The observation deck's windows transformed into high-resolution tactical displays as billions of microscopic machines throughout the facility revealed their true nature. The simple building materials around them shifted and flowed like liquid metal, reforming into advanced sensor and defense systems. Harvester fleet is launching striker craft, Maya announced. First wave approaching Mars orbit. Elena turned to the Zephyrin delegation, noting how their earlier condescension had been replaced by a mix of awe and apprehension. High Overseer, would you be willing to coordinate your ships with our defense fleet? I believe it's time to show the harvesters why they should have chosen a different solar system. Vextal's crystalline form straightened, neural pathways glowing with newfound respect. The Zephyrin Collective would be honored to fight alongside humanity. Admiral. Though I must admit, I find myself wondering what other surprises your species has been keeping hidden. Elena smiled as she activated her full combat interface, feeling the familiar connection as her consciousness expanded to encompass Earth's entire defense network. High Overseer, I believe you're about to find out. Maya, signal all platforms. Weapons free. Across the solar system, humanity's true technological might was about to be unveiled, and the harvesters were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating primitive species. Tables turned. The first wave of harvester striker craft never made it past Mars. Elena watched through her neural interface as the quantum-locked mass drivers in the Kuiper Belt defense line opened fire. To the naked eye, there was nothing to see. The projectiles existed partially outside normal spacetime until impact. But the results were devastating. Striker craft simply ceased to exist as relativistic projectiles, phased back into normal space inside their shields, their own energy barriers contributing to their destruction. The few that survived the initial barrage were quickly picked off by swarms of self-replicating combat drones that had been hiding in Mars' asteroid belt. By the eternal light, Vextal breathed, watching the tactical display. Your technology. It violates dozens of physics principles we thought were immutable. Not violates, Maya corrected, coordinating with Zephyrin ships that were now moving to support Earth's defense platforms. We just found different approaches. Your civilization mastered bioorganic computing and energy manipulation. We focused on quantum mechanics and mass energy conversion. The main harvester fleet was responding now, their massive ships launching a barrage of energy weapons that lit up space like artificial suns. But humanity had prepared for this too. Quantum mirror array engaging, Elena announced. The energy beams from the harvester ships suddenly reversed course, turning their own weapons against them. We discovered that instead of trying to block energy weapons, it's more effective to redirect them through quantum-entangled space. Vextal's neural pathways were pulsing with excitement now. Admiral, if you combine this technology with our bioorganic computing, the possibilities would be extraordinary. That's what we're hoping for. Elena smiled, even as she directed another salvo of relativistic projectiles through her neural interface. Humanity has advanced far, but we know we still have much to learn. We kept our technology hidden not out of deception, but because we wanted any first contact to be genuine, not influenced by fear or intimidation. The battle was fully joined now. Harvester capital ships were attempting to withdraw, but found themselves trapped by gravitational distortions from human installations hidden within the Oort cloud. Zephyrin vessels, their bioorganic hulls gleaming, moved in perfect coordination with Earth's defense platforms, their advanced energy weapons complementing humanity's quantum-based technology. "Admiral," Maya called out, "the Harvester flagship is attempting some kind of dimensional shift, similar to their FTL drive, but different." Elena felt the data flow through her neural interface. The massive ship was indeed trying something desperate, attempting to tear open a hole in space-time itself. "They're going to attempt a blind jump," Vextol warned, his crystalline form vibrating with alarm. "The spatial distortion could damage half the solar system." "Not on my watch," Elena replied. Through her neural interface, she activated humanity's final surprise, the quantum containment grid. Across the solar system, hidden installations began generating overlapping fields of quantum-locked spacetime. The Harvester flagship's desperate maneuver backfired spectacularly. Trapped within the containment grid, their dimensional shift collapsed in on itself. The massive ship imploded, crushed by its own warped spacetime. The remaining Harvester vessels, seeing their flagship destroyed and their escape routes cut off, began broadcasting surrender signals on all frequencies. "Your species," Vextol said slowly, watching as human and Zephyrin ships moved to secure the surrendering Harvesters, "has achieved things we thought impossible. Yet you chose to hide your capabilities, to appear less advanced than you are. Why?" Elena turned to the High Overseer, seeing genuine curiosity in his crystalline features. "Because true cooperation can't be built on fear or intimidation. We wanted any potential allies to see us for who we are, not what we could do to them." The Zephyrin leader was quiet for a moment, his neural pathways pulsing with deep thought. "We came here believing we would be uplifting a primitive species," he finally said. "Instead, we find ourselves humbled and educated. Perhaps it is we who have things to learn from you." Maya's console beeped with incoming transmissions. "Admiral, we're receiving signals from dozens of Zephyran worlds. News of the battle is spreading. They're requesting diplomatic channels be opened immediately." Elena smiled, knowing that this was just the beginning. Humanity had revealed itself at last, but not as a conqueror or a threat. As equals ready to share knowledge and work together. The future that was unfolding would be more incredible than either species could have imagined alone. New understanding. 3 months after the Harvester incident, the observation deck of the International Space Center had been transformed. Where once there had been simple displays showing primitive human technology, now there were joint human-Zephyran research stations. Crystalline forms worked alongside humans, their neural pathways pulsing with excitement as they explored the combination of their technologies. Elena watched as Dr. Chen and High Overseer Vextol examined a prototype quantum organic computer core, the first successful fusion of human quantum manipulation technology and Zephyrin bioorganic computing. The device was already showing processing capabilities that exceeded anything either species had developed independently. "It's remarkable," Maya said, approaching with a datapad. "The Zephyrin's organic technology provides the perfect medium for our quantum manipulation techniques. It's like the two technologies were made to work together." "Perhaps they were," Elena replied. "Different paths leading to the same destination, just waiting for both species to be ready to share their knowledge." The defensive capabilities of both civilizations had also advanced dramatically. The Zephyrins had adapted their bioorganic hulls to incorporate quantum phasing technology, while human ships now sported crystalline computing cores that enhanced their tactical systems beyond anything previously possible. "Admiral Torres," Vextol called out, his translator now producing nearly perfect human speech. "We've just received word from the collective. The Joint Defense Initiative has been approved unanimously. All Zephyran worlds will be integrated into the quantum containment grid." Elena nodded, remembering how quickly things had changed after the battle. The Zephyrins had abandoned their previous condescension completely, approaching the partnership with genuine enthusiasm and respect. Other alien civilizations, hearing of humanity's previously hidden capabilities and the successful human-Zephyran cooperation, were now reaching out for diplomatic contact. The Harvester prisoners have provided valuable information, Maya reported, scanning her datavet. There are other hostile species out there, some even more advanced than they were, but they'll think twice about attacking any world protected by our combined technologies. That was always our hope, Alina said, not to dominate or intimidate, but to create a foundation for genuine cooperation and mutual defense. Dr. Chen joined them, his eyes bright with excitement. The medical applications alone are revolutionary. Zephyran bioorganic technology combined with our quantum manipulation is opening entirely new possibilities for healing and life extension. We're seeing breakthroughs that neither species imagined possible. Through the reinforced windows, Alina could see construction platforms where human and Zephyran ships were being built side by side. The vessels looked like nothing either species had created before. Sleek crystalline hulls housing quantum cores, organic computing systems seamlessly integrated with human technology. We were so convinced of our superiority, Vextal admitted, his crystalline form shimmering with what they now recognized as thoughtful humility. We thought we would be teaching you, uplifting you. Instead, you taught us perhaps the most valuable lesson of all. And what lesson is that, High Overseer? Alina asked, though she already knew the answer. That true advancement comes not from believing you are superior, but from remaining open to new possibilities. From being willing to learn and share knowledge as equals. The Zephyran leader's neural pathways pulsed with warm colors. You could have revealed your technology from the beginning, could have demanded respect through force. Instead, you chose patience and understanding. The best relationships, Alina replied, are built on mutual respect and genuine cooperation, not fear or intimidation. We've both learned that now. Maya's console chimed with new alerts. Admiral, we're receiving the first telemetry from the joint expedition to the galactic core. The quantum organic sensors are detecting phenomena we never could have observed before. Alina smiled, watching as humans and Zephyrans crowded around the displays together, their previous divides forgotten in their shared excitement for discovery. This was what humanity had hoped for all along, not just survival or dominance, but true partnership, a future where different species could work together, combining their strengths and learning from each other. The stars visible through the observation windows seemed brighter somehow, full of new possibilities. Humanity had hidden its true capabilities for centuries, waiting for the right moment, the right circumstances, to reveal themselves. Now, looking at the fruits of human Zephyran cooperation, Alina knew they had made the right choice. The future that stretched before them was limited only by their combined imagination and willingness to work together. And that, she reflected, was the greatest victory of all.